Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon, and we're going to talk about Skydance Animation. I'm actually very excited about Skydance. Looking forward to what they're going to produce. Of course, Skydance, headed up by former Pixar Disney Studios head John Lasseter, who exited Disney under dubious circumstances a couple of years ago. And the reason I wanted to do this video is I want to talk about how Disney is going to be out-Disneyed by other studios and how John Lasseter does not seem to be toxic anymore. Lots of people are lining up to work with John Lasseter, including former Disney animators, some pretty surprising voice talent. We've got people who have historically done music only on Disney movies working with him, and Apple is going to be picking up the Skydance movies. So this is a really interesting turn of events. They tried to cancel John Lasseter, and I think what's going to happen is we're going to see a whole bunch of movies come out from Skydance that are going to make Disney look pretty sad. Because remember, guys, Disney's cutting back on animation. They shut down Blue Sky. That was the studio that produced the Ice Age movies and Rio and a few others. They were working on Nimona, which is Noelle Stevenson, She-Ra showrunner Noelle Stevenson. Her movie got canceled. And Disney's shutting down more and more of its animation divisions. And meanwhile, it looks like John Lasseter is poised to really move forward with animation. I'm very excited to see so many Disney veterans working elsewhere, because Disney has not been a good place for animators to work for a long time. It seems like Netflix and Skydance and other studios around the world are picking up the slack. They're taking what used to be the most Disney thing ever, mainstream classic animation, and they're doing it better than Disney. So this is going to be interesting. Before we get into it any sooner, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We're over 177,000 subs. Your support is greatly appreciated. Geeky is sitting this one out, but she will be back later tonight in some other videos. So we do talk about animation. We talk about comics. We talk about anime. And animation is really kind of the heart of what we'd like to talk about. We, have experience in and around Disney. Used to work on Disney comics, have a lot of friends. The company, we've pitched series to them before. We've actually had a couple optioned before, and we love animation. We do, and it is booming right now because of the pandemic, the shutdown. A lot of people are trying to get into animation, but not everyone is going to do it well. We saw some really kind of half-assed adult animation from sci-fi. Everybody's trying to jump on the bandwagon, but when you talk about putting together a short list of people who are massively important to the animation industry current year in the last couple decades. Of course, John Lasseter comes to the top almost always. Now it wasn't just single-handedly he didn't fix Disney, but he sure as hell had a huge part in turning Disney's animation studios around. They had a bit of a rebirth in the 90s. And then they sort of waned again in the late 90s and early 2000s. And then, of course, Pixar came in, Lasseter came in, and he was able to kind of right the ship at Disney. And I don't think things are going to be the same at Disney without him. Of course, John Lasseter was let go under pretty dubious circumstances. There were allegations, not that he did anything particularly creepy, as I understand it, but that he was just a little too touchy-feely with people. He liked to hug people. Sometimes he would put a hand on a shoulder, put a hand on a leg. But as far as I knew, there was no sexual aggression or anything like that on his part. It just, a lot of people, a handful of very vocal people felt it was inappropriate for him to do that. Now, I'll be honest, I wouldn't, but I'm not very touchy-feely to begin with. Anyway, he was phased out from Disney. Had he been participating in anything that was really egregious, they would have fired him immediately. But he was able to ride out his contract and got gone. Skydance picked him up. And Emma Thompson, who's supposed to be in this movie called Luck, which we're going to talk about, I think she's been replaced by Jane Fonda. She wrote this scathing letter a couple of years ago about why John Lasseter is a horrible person, He's been touching women inappropriately for decades. Why would any woman want to work for him? Well, Jane Fonda apparently is getting her role. Just yesterday, it was announced that Jane Fonda, who, if anyone's going to complain about a man inappropriately touching a woman, it'd be somebody like Jane Fonda. Well, she is apparently the dragon in luck now because Emma Thompson jumped the gun and decided she wasn't going to work with John Lasseter. And I don't think he's toxic anymore. A lot of people are definitely getting on board the Lasseter train, despite efforts by Disney to smear him again. They did this article on Pete Docter. We talked about this before. And most of the article wasn't about Pete Docter, it wasn't about Soul. It was about the John Lasseter scandal. Why did they do this? Well, because Apple is working with Skydance and everybody's jumping ship to work with them. This is coming from Cartoon Brew. Skydance Animation has signed a multi-year overall deal with Apple that will include distribution for its first two animated features, Luck and Spellbound. Luck and Spellbound were originally slated for release via Paramount Animation, but the deal soured after former Disney and Pixar animation chief John Lasseter was hired to run Skydance Animation, which resulted in a reportedly furious reaction from Paramount Animation head Muriel Soria, as well as the departure of actress Emma Thompson from Luck. There were rumors late last year that Apple might acquire distribution rights. The deal will give a boost to the tech giant streaming service, which, although available in over 100 countries, has rolled out a noticeably meager amount of content compared to other streamers. To date, Apple has released just one animated feature, Wolfwalkers, which I guess is pretty good. People said it was actually pretty good. Through the deal, Skydance Animation will also produce animated shows for Apple TV. Skydance Animation's first series for Apple will be The Search for One Law, based on a middle school book series. 2 seasons of it have been ordered. So the trilogy is a science fiction fantasy tale about a 12-year-old girl searching the world for other humans like herself. We have a showrunner from The Legend of Korra and Voltron is writing and executive producing the series. I thought John Lasseter was toxic, and this is a woman, Lauren Montgomery. I thought he was toxic. Executive producers are Skydance Media Chief David Ellison, John Lasseter, Chad Quant, Dee Terlizzi, and Gotham Group. Luck is a comedy about a very unlucky girl who discovers the world of good and bad luck, directed by Peggy Holmes, who did Little Mermaid, Ariel's Beginning, and The Pirate Fairy. Okay, so she's a Disney alum too. She replaced Alessandro Corleone last year. Cars and Cars 3 writer is scripting the film. Do you see a pattern here? All these Disney people are jumping ship to go work with John Lasseter. Here's what people don't understand. And this is absolutely a truth that Disney is going to uncover, I think, going forward, especially with so many people leaving, is that you're only as good as your people. Disney is only as good as the people they have working for them. As long as they have the best and the brightest working for them, they're the best. We're seeing this with Star Wars. Look at the difference between Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni's approach to Star Wars and Kathleen Kennedy's. And I think we're going to see this with Disney Animation too. All of the good ones, all the veterans, they're leaving. They're starting their own studios. They're working for Netflix. They're leaving Disney. So Spellbound is directed by Vicky Jensen, who did Shrek and Shark Tale. So she's another woman director working with John Lasseter. How dare she? She worked for DreamWorks too. It's a musical fantasy feature set in a world of magic where a young girl must break the spell that has split her kingdom in two. The film is written by Lauren Hynek, Elizabeth Martin, and Linda Wolverton. 3 women. 3 more women working with John Lasseter, the womanizer. Alan Menken, veteran of Disney animated films, penned the score with lyrics by Glenn Slater. How very dare these women. Maybe they haven't heard that John Lasseter is toxic. Maybe they need to talk to Emma Thompson. Maybe they need to talk to Jane Fonda. Oh wait, Jane Fonda just signed on too. So this is going to be really, really interesting, guys. I think Disney is going to lose big time. In animation. Again, we're seeing Glenn Keane. He left. Sergio Pablos left and went and did Klaus. And there are so many other Disney veterans that are starting their own studios. The future of animation is not with Disney. I mean, it's very, very clear. Again, Disney shut down the Ice Age studio, Blue Sky. And apparently they were working on Noelle Stevenson's Nimona. It was 75% complete and they pulled the plug on it. Disney didn't care. Disney didn't give a shit. Disney didn't give any privilege points to anybody. They just pulled the plug. The director said they just watched our final crew virtual screening of Nimona. What a beautiful film made by the most beautiful and talented people. It's so sad we won't be able to finish this amazing, powerful film. Well, maybe you should call up John Lasseter, because apparently he's still trying to make stuff, right? Disney's not interested in animation anymore. Noelle Stevenson, got to see some recent reels and art from Nimona. Absolutely blew me away, and I'm so heartbroken you won't be able to see it. Blue Sky was making something special. Disney doesn't care. They don't care. They don't care about animation. Individual producers and creators are the future of animation. Whether or not you work for a studio like this, I encourage you, we encourage you, we've told you many, many times, go out and make something yourself. Because the big corporations, they're not going to do it anymore. They don't care. Their heart's not in it. Your heart has to be in it. And, again, people have opinions on John Lasseter, but he is absolutely, creatively is one of the best in the industry and has been for decades. I'm looking forward to seeing what Skydance is going to do. I'm going to wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk to you later.